The Two Countrymen. Scene 1. Time, evening. Place, a large city, a quiet corner with a high wall back. Great crowds of people are seen in the streets. The two countrymen have just arrived. They find a quiet corner where they place their blankets and baskets of gourds which they carry.
I fear something most dreadful must have happened in that street. See what crowds of people pass that way.
Perhaps there is a fire, and yet—
He stops, showing he is puzzled.
What troubles thee?
Look thou into that other street. It too is full of people, and yet none are gone from here.
Some awful accident hath called them from all parts of the city. We must find out what it may be.
A merchant passes. To merchant.
I pray thee stop, citizen.
The merchant stops.
Canst thou tell us what dreadful thing hath befallen this city?
What do you mean?
Two city wags pass. They stop to listen.
Whither do they go, these vast multitudes? What dreadful thing go they to see?
Perhaps they flee from some monster just come out of the sea.
It is ever thus, always the great crowd surging through the streets.
The merchant goes. Two countrymen, winking aside at first wag.
This is your first visit to a city, I take it?
Bowing.
It is, good sirs.
Winking aside at second wag.
You know what happens to strangers in our city, of course.
No, good sir.
Pray tell us what it may be.
'Tis said they become so dazed by the noise of the city and the rush of such countless numbers they forget who they are.
Eh? Forget who they are?
Nodding.
Aye.
He winks aside at second wag.
You've heard of this, dear friend?
Winking aside.
To be sure, 'tis quite common.
Forget their own faces?
Aye, their faces. At least, they are not certain as to whose faces theirs may be.
Then we dare not leave this corner.
I would not advise it.
It would be most unsafe, at least for tonight.
Of course there is this danger. When you awake in the morning, you may not know whether you are yourselves.
Would that I had never left my farm.
Would that I had never left my wife.
Do not despair, there is a way out of your troubles.
Tell us,
we pray thee.
Each of you must take a gourd from his basket there, and tie it around his ankle. Then, in the morning, when you awake, you will each know that it is yourself and none other.
Two second countrymen.
Dost thou hear? By our gourds we shall know.
I hear. Thanks, and yet again more thanks to thee, good sir.
The wags turn to go.
May you know yourselves in the morning for what you truly are.
They go, laughing aside. Each countryman ties a gourd round his ankle, wraps his blanket round him, and lies down. They sleep. Pause. Enter the wags, softly, each carrying a small flag. They remove the gourds from the countrymen's ankles and hide them under their blankets. They then tie the flags around countrymen's ankles and go, greatly pleased with their joke. Scene 2. Time, the next morning. Place, the same as Scene 1. The wags are seen peeping around the corner.
They are sound asleep.
Then come.
They enter and throw the two baskets of gourds over the wall. They then retire around the corner, peeping as before. Waking, shaking second countryman.
Wake up! Wake up!
Each yawns, stretches, throws off his blanket, arises. Remembering.
Ah, the gourds.
Each looks at his ankle, then at the other's ankle.
How's this?
Did we not tie gourds around our ankles?
Nodding.
Why, surely we did.
Looking about.
Did we not have 2 baskets of gourds with us?
Nodding.
Surely, they're in the corner.
Holding up foot to which flag is tied.
Is this a gourd, or is it not a gourd?
Of surety, it is a flag.
Holding up his foot with flag.
And if this be not a gourd, keep thy silence.
The first countryman stares at the flag, placing his finger on his closed lips.
Then it hath indeed happened.
What hath happened?
The dreadful thing foretold by the citizens. I am not I. Thou art not thou.
Trembling with fear.
How can that be?
I know not. I only know that it is.
Weeping.
I cannot think I am not myself.
Weeping.
Thou must think it, whether thou wouldst or no.
Dost thou indeed think thou art some other person?
If I were myself, would not the gourd still be around my ankle?
Then who art thou? And who am I?
Alas, I know not.
Enter the Wags.
Here come those who will know whether we are ourselves.
The Wags pretend not to know the countrymen who are bowing before them. They pass on.
Stop, good sirs.
A word with thee.
The Wags stop.
Dost thou not know us?
I have not that pleasure.
Thou didst talk with us but yestereve.
Some mistake, I fear, my good man.
The Wags start off. Weeping.
Wait, I pray thee, wait.
The Wags stop.
Canst thou not tell us who we are?
Do you not know yourselves?
Alas, we are not ourselves.
Thou wouldst know us, were we as we were once.
Perhaps those flags will solve the riddle.
True enough. Let us look at them.
The countrymen remove flags and hand them to Wags, who look at them intently. Mysteriously.
Can it be?
It is! It is!
Eh?
Eh?
Two countrymen.
Your pardon, I do crave your pardon.
Taking a ring from his finger, turning to second countryman.
Please to accept this ring. I shall then know I am forgiven for not recognizing you at first.
Accepting ring, putting it on the first finger of his right hand.
Why, yes, I forgive thee.
To first countryman, taking off his gold chain.
Please to accept this chain. By that I shall know I too am forgiven.
Accepting chain, putting it on.
Thou art forgiven? Now tell me what great person I have become.
Jest with us no more.
We go now to announce your arrival to the Lord Mayor.
Presently we will return. Await us here.
They go, laughing aside.
Dost thou know, I have always felt that I was really a great person. Hast thou not always noticed something unusual about me?
I cannot say that I have. There is, however, certainly something wonderful about me. I have noticed it for a long time. Hast thou not felt it when in my company?
I have not.
Thou hast not?
Never, thou silly goose.
The second countryman snatches the first countryman's chain and throws it over the wall.
Mind how thou callest me names, thou booby.
Tearing off second countryman's ring and throwing it over the wall.
Silly goose.
I will now depart from my home. I do not desire thy company.
I likewise will return, and likewise I wish to journey alone.
They take up their blankets and discover the gourds.
Eh?
Eh?
Let us tie them around our ankles. We may then discover whether we are ourselves.
They tie the gourds round their ankles.
I am myself.
And I am myself.
Come, let us journey back together.
They go out. Pause. Enter the Wags. They remain at entrance, not knowing countrymen have gone. Whispering.
Do you think the musicians should follow them?
Whispering.
No, they should follow the music. What a joke it is.
They look around and discover that the countrymen have gone.
My ring.
My chain.
End of The Two Countrymen.